What's up, Lil Lotus? Really excited to be going out on tour in Australia. Was it May and April? Or which one comes first? April, May. April, May.
Yeah,
I've never been, so shout out Ocean Sleeper and Deficit for having us out there.
beautiful, brother. Thanks for joining us today, man.
Hell yeah! Thanks for having me.
Oh, pleasure. So, Little Lotus hits Australia for the first time ever as main support to Ocean Sleeper on their Lonely Love Australian tour, which kicks off on April 24th in Perth, before hitting Adelaide, Melbourne, Wollongong, Sydney, Gold Coast, and finishing in Brisbane on May the 5th. Like, it's not long to go, mate. You letting yourself get excited yet, or are you trying to keep it in check till you get on the plane?
I think it'll hit me when I'm like on that 20-hour plane ride. I think it'll hit me. But I'm like I've always wanted to go to Australia. We've always talked about it, but and it's really weird because Australia was always like up there on my top like listens, like top like places that people listen, and I was like, oh, one day I'll go, and it just the opportunity came up, and I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So I'm super stoked. Um, yeah, I think I tend to get really excited like right before things happen.
Yeah, cool. And you've done well, man. Like it's a pretty comprehensive first tour here as well. Like you're covering everywhere, pretty much the whole of Australia. So it's not as if you're just coming and doing one part. You're getting to see everything.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm stoked on that. I'm terrified. I hear y'all got spiders and snakes out there, like a lot of them. I'm terrified.
Not as many as they make you believe, mate. It's not that bad.
Really?
Nah,
I'm
no,
hearing
I think
mixed stories.
they give Australia a bad rap, man. They make everyone scared shitless to come over here, and like it's not that bad at all. So you haven't been out here before, man. So what are you expecting from the Australian crowds?
Um, I don't know honestly, but I honestly don't know what to expect, but I hope everybody's gonna go crazy, have some fun. I know y'all party a lot out there, so I assume that the shows will probably be kind of crazy.
So you're sort of like that. Are you going to do a bit of research on what to expect before you come over here, or are you just going to come in blind and just take it as it comes?
I mean, I don't really know too much. I know about it's a didgeridoo. What's that? Is that
Didgeridoo, close.
didgeridoo? Didgeridoo. Wow, I've been saying it wrong this entire time. Didgeridoo. The koala stuff, the fucking stingray. Um, uh, yeah, I don't know too much. The spiders and snakes I hear.
I was
Yeah,
interviewing someone once, and he asked me if you could buy spider repellent over here, and I'm like, "What is that?
they
Do
have.
you guys think that's seriously a thing? Like, there's no such
Oh,
thing in spider."
I was like, if there's actually a spider repellent, I'll take some.
I remember once back when I was younger, my mum got bitten by a redback spider, and it died. That's how much alcohol she had in her blood system. It bit her, and I reckon it
Oh
an
shit,
overdose on scotch. Walked away and died.
that's sick. That's sick. I've definitely been there before. That's sick.
So the flip side to that equation too, bro, is like you haven't been here before, but that means Australian fans don't know what to expect of you, man. So run us through a typical Little Lotus live show, man. What we can expect.
So I've actually been like moving around the set a lot lately. I feel like Lotus has gone through like so many different like different eras of Lotus. And this time around there's a lot more band heavy, more rock, more there's still some of the old like Lotus songs that everybody likes and stuff like that, but it's definitely more band forward, band heavy. There's a lot of craziness on stage.
Yeah, cool, cool. Now, did you have a pre-existing relationship with Ocean Sleeper to be invited over here, mate, or did it just happen?
That happened pretty fast. I think it was somebody reached out to my manager, and we started we looked into it, and then we loved it, and we are like, fuck yeah, this would be sick to tour with them. And it's funny too because it just so happens like some other people that are involved in like the Lotus project heard like they were like, oh, like I know that band. So it was like word was getting around about them and stuff, and it was my first time hearing it, so I was stoked. I was like, let's hop on.
Why not? Now you released your latest album, Nosebleeder, last December, bro. So how's it been received, mate? Are people digging it?
Yeah, I feel like there's like this big transition of like how I was saying, like the more rock heavy stuff, the more not as much pop punk, but more, more in that like heavier sense where people are like, oh, okay, now the real Lotus is like coming out. And like I see it feels like everybody's really liking that. So I'm stoked on that. And it feels like the most me stuff. So I feel comfortable there. Um, but yeah, the response has been awesome. We're about to release a deluxe for the album that has a
Nice.
bunch of acoustic covers of the songs, or not covers, but acoustic versions of songs on the album, and then an acoustic cover. So, for how like much heavier this album is compared to the other stuff, we decided to throw in those like the other side of the coin,
Yeah,
the
nice.
acoustic songs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now I've got to ask, mate, is it titled Nosebleed in reference to someone being punched in the face, or is it something else?
No, it's more like uh just like the fucking like being thrown in the shit and like just complete just drained of everything, leaking out your nose, like just hemorrhaging, like you've got nothing left. You're fucking not necessarily physically like beat to a pulp, but like if you got something going on in your head and your body's failing and you feel completely just done. That's what, yeah, it's more that. But so I guess you could have got hit in the face at some point.
Sounds to me more
Or
like someone got bit by a spider. That's
that, or
the
you
after
sniffed a
effects of the
little bit
spider
too
bite,
much or
bro.
something. Yeah, yeah.
Now, you've had a varied and exciting career, mate, starting in metalcore bands in Texas before going acoustic solo in 2016. Like, I don't think you get much more polar opposite than that, man, going from metalcore to bang acoustics. Like, what brought that on?
Um, I think my heart has always been in like the sappy stuff, and I feel like that still shows even through my like heavy stuff. I'm still like the lyrics and stuff like that are still somewhere in that like broken part of things, and like those make for good acoustic songs. But I started off like always playing acoustic and songs like that, but when I started doing bands and stuff, that was where I was like performing, and then I went back to just doing that, performing acoustic stuff and performing my solo stuff with like production over it. And I feel like it's just like it's like the whole yin and yang thing. Like it's
Yeah.
like um it's pretty balanced. Like there's like you get both sides of it. Like you get the craziness and then you get the like calm down. There's some like I don't know. I think it's just how I like things. Like I kind of just like thrive there and going back and forth.
Yeah, nice. Nice. And you've since been in post-hardcore outfit If I Die First and alternative hip-hop
Hmm.
act Boyfriends, bro. So you're definitely covering as many genres as you can, man. Like you're not sitting back and waiting for it to happen. You're getting out there and doing it, man. And good on you.
I just like making music, and I guess like sometimes that calls for bigger bodies of work, which usually lead to a project, like and other people being involved. And um, I was like raised where in a household where like my father like made me listen to like everything. Like I was listening to all kinds of different artists, and it was always all over the place, but there was always that same feeling. Like they're always singing about technically the same stuff. There's always like love or heartbreak or like story of like a hard life, and like songs are always telling the story. And I guess I like saw more like that's what music is telling the story more so than like telling the story in the specific genre, and that's what I do. It's just like, well, if you love music, like just make whatever, but like tell your story. That's your song. And whatever other sounds and whatever you put in there when you're in that moment, whatever's influencing you at the time, whatever you are maybe working on, that you're like, this is a sound like I haven't heard before and I want to like really just make something for me, and do that and maybe put it out, like maybe do a few songs like that. I feel like that's kind of like where I've kind of thrived and like doing stuff.
Yeah, man. Did I just notice, right? Have you got fucking a tattoo on your actual palm?
Yeah, I've got two.
That's weird. I've never ever seen anyone's actual palm tattooed before, bro. That's fucking sick.
I've got crazier things tattooed.
I'm not going to ask to start peeling your clothes off. So, but along those lines, what we just talked about, bro, like, would you say that at the moment, like you're experimenting with music, or are you still trying to find your own musical identity in a way?
I feel like you should always be experimenting with music. I feel like um, I think every artist should always be experimenting with music. I feel like if you've got it all figured out and everything, then like that's cool. And like, you know, there's some people that they make the same thing because like that's their thing, and there's a huge market for them specifically. And like, you know, they just stay that same artist or whatever. And I'm sure they experiment on their own and do whatever, but what their fan base wants is just that. But I feel like for Lotus, like it's definitely become more and more just like what I want out of it. Like, not to say like I don't care what my fan base wants, but like I don't care what anybody else wants. I want to make what I want to give people what I am, you know, like by making, you know, my what I think is like me. And which circles back to like the story. Like, you know, you're making music and this is your story and this is, you know, you're using whatever sounds. So I think I'm like, yes, experimenting and playing with stuff, but at the same time I'm just really getting closer and closer to what I already feel like I am, and kind of bringing that all together in song form, as we like keep releasing stuff. And who knows where how close we'll be or how past will be what Lotus is. Maybe it'll do some other crazy shit, but I don't know. I think I'm just having fun. Yeah, I'm just having fun. Really, just making stuff I feel is most me.
Yeah, man. All right, bro. Well, thanks for your time today, man. Been a pleasure getting to know you. You will be out here with Ocean Sleeper and Deficit from April 24, bro. So I'll come along to the Brisbane show and we'll catch up and have a few beers. I'll bring some spider repellent.
Hell yeah. All right, man.
All right, bro. You
Thanks
take
for
care,
having
mate.
me.